the strategy tester inside of MT4. I'm using the half hour chart, and I'm going to trade the line chart because we only have one piece of data, and it's as simple as it gets. And we can see our entries and our exits. Here on the half hour chart, I'm looking to make 5, 10, 15, 20 pips, or the spectrum of pips from, say, 3 pips up. If you can start taking something off the table, especially if you're going to trade a lot of tickets, if you hit a button that throws in a 10K in a 14 pip window, or you drop that with your hand, but if you the ones that I have that are hand drops are a pip apart, that's as close as they get. Now, if you really wanted to maximize the system, if your broker is going to let you put in 100 tickets every 4 hours, interwoven between the entries. So I know it seems kind of like a little bit too much, but not really, because if the broker is going to take the spread down to, say, 0 for a little bit, like a second, just one instance, if you have a lattice of limits in there, when it comes down, so here, we're going to buy at the market here at the end of this half hour right now. Boom, we just bought one at the market. We also have, say, limits on the top of here, but imagine a standard lot with, there's a 20K, so you could buy a 20K in a 2 pip window without repeating the price, technically. And if you're just trying to make 3 pips, that's and the spread goes to 0 for that moment, and there's a standard lot there, it's still right, it's still money. And you'll notice it so when the market goes down, okay, when the market's going up or down really hard on the larger time frames, like it just keeps going up, like this one here. When the market's really going up, so what can you do about that with the scripts? Now, if the spread's going to 0, this is a half hour chart, so I'm in really small windows here. Like, okay, so I was seeing this earlier and I said this is a great trade. This is my kind of trade, is that you put in buy limits when the market's up here and everybody's got their trend lines and this is the they tricked you trade, right? Of course, don't forget, this is the end of the day. And it just waffles into Asia, tumbles down, but that's okay because that's my trade. I'm gonna buy that in a grid. So some guy was talking about grid trading. It takes a lot of money to grid trade, yes, because when the market goes into trend mode, like if you're not taking stuff off the table here, this is 15 pips. So how much money are you trying to make, If you counter trend traded this, like if you had sell limits into here, and when it comes flying back, and these big bold moves like this, bam. Okay, it broke out. It's going. It's a big run. Now, if you start selling into this, yes, you're going to get clobbered, because when it goes into this doji mode here, where it goes sideways, nobody's coming in to sell that. That's all it's telling you when it goes zigzag. Little baby zigzags. Also, there is people with buy stop stacking up, sell stop stacking up. All these strategies naturally engage. All of the trend traders have gotten on the doji. which just means more than one zigzag. I did this trade on limits, but see the grid trading people that get into a symmetrical grid, like they're long and they're short, when do you unload that? After how many pips? So this is like a 50 pip run, say. So that is 50 pips. You're out. Okay, you're gonna leave this many pips on the table. Okay, so we sold. You could have sold here. This would have been obvious because I'm out. Now I'm buying again. Now I'm gonna buy more below here. So yeah, you're gonna have to let go of some trade. I mean, if you're getting killed from this strategy, that means you sold into this and you ignored this. You can't ignore it when the market is sideways. So this is sideways. And it breaks out, tumbles down. The confirmation people are going to get in here. I'm assuming people that wait for the next price pulse. Now here, I probably bought into this. I mean, the way my system runs is I'm coming in front of the market with X. Now if it heats up and blows out, but inside of X, right, inside of here is maybe I'm buying every half pip. Because how long do those last? So I can double click on my tablet. I could double click and just drop tickets that are going to linger. Okay. And I can hit another button that's going to put in just insane stuff down here that lasts all week. Just last. All right, so I've still got my pendings here now. These last a long time. These last a long time. Here, and you're buying here because now this may be a fib down here. Certainly, you can imagine, right? You can just fill in the blank with all the stuff that could be there. And how's your uptrend doing now? You remember the uptrend you drew this trend line over here? You know the classical analysis people do? Okay, so I just got filled. Now look how brutal that was. And I bought the market. And the scalper tickets are scalping out. Now, that would be a hand place thing, or I would see it coming. So I'm either going to hand place here, and I'm going to say anything below here in this 10 pip window, we scalp to here. At the end of a half hour, I'm out. I'm watching this thing and babysit the market. Here, this is work. Like you can babysit the market here at the market, or you can come in, no babysit, just put limits in here and walk away. You're going to make more money if you can. So now they're coming in the limit window now. And, geez, crazy. You can come back to here, right? Nuts, but I'm buying this whole plunge here, and at the end of the half hour, I'm going to buy at the market. Just how it is. I just know my trade. It's down, I buy. It's up, I sell. This is on the half hour zigzags. Then I have the limits sitting down there doing their limit work. And sell limits here, I wouldn't have any. If I buy limits, I'd be buying at the market. And my exit's going to be here as I accumulate whatever size it happens to be. Hopefully it's going to be quite a bit here. I'm getting out of half of that or all of it here, and then I can just stop. Like now, if I just made X, whatever you think a lot of money is, $300, I'm out. If I just made $300 on this plunge back to here, that's it, I'm out. At the end of this half hour, okay, can you wait a half hour to get paid? I'm out. That guy, that's the Shark Tank fucking shit. I'm out. We're out, right? You have to wait a half hour. It could still start. Now it could really start taking. This could be a breakout, becomes a fake out. This is a double bottom, right? Becomes a top, or is it going to engulf and do this? Now this is the yen. We could go like this, and you'd be like, oh shit. if you just took half of that off, okay, now are you going to sell here? I'm not. I'm not selling here thinking it's going to go down. I could be wrong, but I'm not. I probably won't do that trade. I'm going to put buy limits here, and I'm going to just sit back and go, you know what, bitch? Let's have some action. And when it comes down, and it all it has to do is do some zigzags in there, and interlaced in there in the lattice is okay. I'm going to make 2 pips, 3 pips, 4 pips. I know it sounds ridiculous, but your risk is going away every time. People say, why would you do that? Because you soften the risk. Otherwise, what are you going to do? You bought a standard lot down here and like put too tight a stop. You're watching this in golf and you're like, damn, I could have fucking made, you know. So if we took off the high probability was that scalp, and then maybe you do the scalp and see what happens. Let it ride. Yes, you would let your profits run, but not on the whole stupid ass 2% one trigger pull trade. What would be the point in that? Wouldn't that just be ridiculous? Okay, I know it. So now maybe you do sell because it's up. Is it going to start tanking here? It could come back a little bit. I'm thinking at this point, like for me, I'm not on this is the half-hour chart, by the way. That's a nice clean 10 pips, so that would be whatever. And if the spread went to zero, and this is the other thing, is that you're going to martingale this 10 pip window. You're going to buy, like, by the time it gets down here, oh shit, right? So you're going to watch your margin usage go slamming up, evaporate, and see the cash out. The sellers are coming in. That is the double bottom, kind of, not exactly. This is all the data you need to trade. This is all you need. Half-hour chart. Actually, if people could just have ever started with the line chart, they'd do so much better because they just wouldn't. Fuck the wicks. You can't stop the wick. This is just easy, simple trading half-hour line chart. Yeah, sellers are right. Is it going to go down lower? See, but I really don't like this kind of setup to me. It feels like I'm going to get trapped, so I want to put buy limits in like this. Buy limits. I usually put my buy limits in straighter, but my fucking mouse, I'm trying to use this new mouse. But so it basically looks like this. And now, if you want to pull them down, come on, put the buy limits down deep, and you're looking for a crush. So my favorite trade's the crush. Like, you just put buy limits in like a pig like this, and the market goes and it cashes out. I mean, this is the obvious trade in my opinion. All right, so I just bought that plunge scalp. Now maybe I'm still holding. So I'm in percentages of trade, not 2%. I'm in like, okay, I'm getting filled here, scalp to there. All right, great. Maybe I think this is going to go to the moon. This is just nothing but a stop hunt. It took out the London lull there. Whatever happened here in the United States, we've taken that out. Very dramatic moves now. Now you got to be, just made 10 pips, got to get out. Just made $100, right? Standard lot just made, not to mention you're making $20. You're losing $20. All these things are woven in. If you do have this feeling that it's going up, which is obviously going up because you're making higher highs, this swing high, swing low is so obvious on the line chart. Why do people deny this line chart? It's too simple. I got this thing that's listening to the news looking for keywords in trading. Are you serious? Man, you should go create a riot in your backyard. So here's my buy limits. Get a barbecue riot going on. When are we going to have this new? Where is the new? Remember the smiley face from 1970? Where are we having the new? Where's the new like ultra meme? That was the first meme, I think. Okay, so I got buy limits down here. Now this is scary because this big giant hole, this big looming void is getting to be very looming. And we could see wackadoodle stuff happen in this regard, like bam. What's the cure for that? Well, make the orders last a half hour. Make them last an hour. Every time you go to a longer lasting ticket, if you got a ticket down here that lasts all week, you know what? Who's trading that far away from the market? I'm not going to do that. I know this is a good price, but I'm going to come in every half hour. I'm 10 pips in front of the market. Now, this is the going to be a say these are going to be the long-lasting deep state tickets here, but it's going to be where there's a denser pack down here. Most of what's really going to be heavy is here. So the guy said, where are you getting it heavy? Well, you know, are you getting it heavy? Well, here, I'm going to get in real heavy. We may never make it down there. So sometimes you have to settle for these dumb shit trades like, okay, it's down, I bought. They kind of trapped here. We got a double bottom. Can it go up? Maybe. It could just go to the moon. There is no kind of guarantee, especially if it may just do a little fizzle, a baby move. Now, in a baby move, when I was talking about the robot thing, I guess you're just going to have to be the robot. I mean, there's no getting around handmade shit. So it makes more money, obviously. You know, if you just let a robot bang your wife, right? You're just like, honey, I gotta watch a movie. Use the Robo Ken. What's better, right? And it's more fun, right? So if you're gonna trade like scalping, half hour chart. Say you see the whole story here too. Plus you get, it's kind of like the 15-minute chart's a little too neurotic. The 1 hour chart is just, the half hour chart's key because it is when the news comes out and you can see making 10 pips in a half an hour. So in a half hour, $100, that's $200 an hour for if you could trade every price pulse. You're in a standard lot, imagine no spread, no commissions. Imagine that you don't have to. I guess this is what happened. Okay, to go into the. Okay, I'm getting filled, by the way. I know I got buy limits here, and this is going to be crazy, this pivot. Now, a lot of people are going to take their scalp to here. I can already see my exit, so I'm trying to make 10. You're just going to trade heavier, right? You're going to trade heavier. Now, we're expecting quite a bit of drama here. And at the end of the half hour, I have to buy with a wide stop. I already know I'm getting filled on a ton of stuff, and it's already all these pendings, but I wait for that. If need be, I'm going to come in and buy at the market if I didn't put a lot of pendings in. Now, as soon as it comes back to here, I got to get out of something. Got to. Every half hour, there's a trade, or I'm getting into a trade. Okay, by the way, I've never seen this chart. This is like just running data, and you see your trade. Okay, look at that. At the end of that half hour, bam, this is every tick playback. Now I'm thinking, oof, this is going to crush. This is going to crush. And this is why you got to reserve, you got to have a lot of dry powder because you got to start thinking about buy. Now we could come down to here. Could come down to here. You're in your typical whatever K you pick for a 10 pip window. And that's going to be your first scalp. It could go to the moon. This is the hardest part, is how to size it. This is why you need to have the spread here is 1.5 pips actually. I don't know what's, looks like it's wiggling. I think there's only so many pixels. Okay, when we get to here, we got to get out. I mean, this is the scalper's trade, in my opinion, the half-hour scalp. But around this whole thing, if you're still in from this area, still holding on to something that has a really wide stop. Now you could have a stop down here, and you can also have stops really tight, so you can have both things running on top of each other. And if this is the swing trade with the big stop and the big target, then you may take the whole thing off when you get to here. You're like, oh, well, it's done. By the way, this is the end of the day, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So look at the slam down into the close. What a classic. Yeah, everybody's like, wow, that thing's all. This has sparked everybody to. This is the only reason people use moving averages, because this price pulse here is going to make your moving average crossover. It's also, it fucking went up. I mean, really, really so retarded you can't see that? Now, this would be considered wave 4. No offense to retards. And this is your channel traders. They've been milking this scenario thing. They're doing all these trades like, okay, this is my support. We're going to sell here. Now, did they ride that for just 1/2 hour and cash out into fair value into here? Or they add to it here? Okay, we just got out. See how that worked? We just got out of quite a bit. Because when we came down to here, it looked kind of scary, like, wow, look at this thing down. Also, if we bought at the market, if we did not buy it all, if we never traded on limits, we could trade this. If we got out of something here, and if that's the case, if you're going to do that, I'm going to write a market order like this and experiment. Now this is going to take some work because I got to look at the chart every half hour and go, okay, we're down here, buy. I mean, structurally, it makes sense. We came back, retested here. This is a classic setup where you do stock the market, you wait, you just half hour. And I don't know what time this day this is. I'm not really sure where we're at the time of the day. I know this would be half hour chart. I guess I don't care so much. I don't want to think about that because now this here, if you're still holding, you're still holding a portion of that. Now this is your first target, and that was your second, the big Kahuna pivot. Now it does look like it could engulf because this walk down into this major structure. A lot of people consider that to be a pivot. I would. I mean, anytime you see a so let's go and let's put something on here that's straight. My line drawings look a little brutal. Most people are out. That would be an amazing trade. Now that would be $200 on a standard lot. But imagine you're going to get in heavier the more it goes down. So you're going against most people thinking, but you're looking for the retracement. You're looking for the engulf. Ultimately, the engulf, because if you can buy into this, now definitely get out of everything because you also went up for 2.5 hours, nice, smooth, clean, boom, boom. Now I would buy a little bit, or I'm still in a little bit. Now here's where we have the luxury of put more buy limits in. Do it again. You just keep rinsing and repeat. Now I have more buy limits below here. Now it could really slam down, right? More buy limits below here. And if we ever get to this round number, this number round, my God. Now you got to be in like 3 standard lots down here and then scalp to here Now you got to trade your targets. You have to be really tight in there too. Look at this. Look at this pullback. So, are you going to buy at the market here? Yes, I'm buy at the market with a wide stop. And look how this couldn't get above the bar there. So now these tickets are going to last 8 hours. So I'm going to go to sleep. This is going to last 4 hours, 2 hours, an hour. You can hit buttons. You can drop them. You're going to have to do some kind of work. It's true that you can draw trend lines all day, but you got to put orders in to make money. Unfortunately, this is the drudgery. You have to put the tickets in. Okay, so here we are. We just bought at the market, and maybe we're still long. You know, we're looking at this as the floor, and this would be accumulation on the floor right now. This is the auction process. This phase of they keep bidding it down. Nobody comes in. It's a ridiculous price. Nobody's buying it. Okay, so we bought at the market. We're long the market. We've got scalps built in. As soon as this starts to go up, even 5 pips, I'm out of something. Have to be. You cannot hold these positions in one singularity. You cannot. You can't treat them like Biden would. So you can't. So now that to me now the end of the day is coming. Right, end of the day. And everybody's like, well, I think the trend's going down now. What do you think, Ralph? Okay, maybe I should speed this up a little bit. So I'm just speed this up a little bit. Looks like the robot's making money here. I think maybe, I don't know. What do we got here? Results. Let's see, look, are we making money? Hey, look at these things. Losing money. Oh, it's losing money. Damn, I hate that. Let's take it up to... all right, so now I'm going to call the trades out. We know the system, half-hour system outruns. Gosh. Really? All right, let's go max speed. Line chart. This is, except other than the price grid, this is all standard stuff. Okay, this looks like a monster crush could come in here, so we just have limits now, and we're going to step back because it's 4x, and I don't know what's going to happen here. The safe thing to consider is that if these orders last, I think we're going to come maybe down in here. Like this is crazy pivot. We're just going to blow through this. I think we're going to end up on this going down hard. Now this kind of drift down here. Now I'd be very concerned about buying at the market here. So this is why the robots. Okay, into the close. Still a crush there. Okay, I am long on limits. I just cashed out of something because I always sell. My system sells when. Okay, so I think you see what I'm saying. Let me try to walk through this chart as it plays out. Okay, so we cashed out. We made our 10 and 20 pips. That's my target. 10, 20 pips in scalp mode with heavy positions. Okay, we're out. Sellers are supposed to come in here, but I don't believe it. So I'm going to put buy limits in now. If I'm flat right now, I got buy limits pending, and just going to hope they take it down. It looks like they're not going to, but it just always seems like that. It seems like you won't get filled, you know? But trust and believe, it can go down as well as it go up. Okay, so they're filling me in my limits now. And the Asian, so this is the very close pricing here. I think we could violate that, go down more. So, wow. Okay. So I'm really interested in this price down here. And this may be hours away, like 12 hours. We got orders down here. This is even down here. Okay, I just bought at the market. It's half hour down. Also a failure to take this out. So that's a setup, really. You're down. Pretty good. 10 pips in a half hour. So you're running your 10 pip stop, maybe ticket, and you know that this didn't take that low out. Now they're filling more limits. This way, you couldn't trade one ticket. Okay, so maybe you're going to get stopped out of that. You got to have a bigger bank of orders down here. And so in a perfect world, you always have it looks like this, like Fibonacci. So that's the only use of Fibonacci, in my opinion, is to get these orders so they look logarithmic. So there's more down here. It's compressed entry. Okay, we're scalping out of that 10 pip winner. Okay, we're out. Boom. And sellers are supposed to come in. I don't believe it. I think we're going to start going after this price again. So here's the floor. There's a double. The sellers came in at this bottom. You could have sold. I said, I don't like that trade so much. Not a big trend trader, but that's the trend trade. You know, people are going, oh, dude, moving average here is a no-brainer. I just sold there. It's like, come on. Everybody knows that trade. Yeah, but it's half hour I'm talking about. Are you in and out every half hour? Are you going flat, cashing in, going flat? I mean, the ultimate is to have this in, out, in and out, you know. Okay, I think we're going to engulf now. I think this is, there's probably, we can't see it on the wicks here, but we're just going to imagine that this below here, that this window here was impossible to fill for some reason. We just could not. Although we've been dipping into it and cashing out, we could still got that. So we're looking for this to break this trend line. What else is all right, I'm holding on something here on my swing trades. So I've got don't forget I've got the wide running around the tight. If I can make money in here trading 300K, and inside of that 300K, there's 50K of swing trades lingering on the outside here with big wide stops and big wide targets, commingled, integrated. This is an integrated trading system. And you just have to allocate some of it to the swing trade, some of the scalp, because you really cannot afford to wait for these empowered trading trades where you see these goobers sitting out with, well, we're going to get in. I'm like, when do you think in the wild world of sports we're ever going to get down here? When meanwhile, I can be making 10 pips back and forth here all day long and buying every pullback at the market, building and dumping positions in here. I'm still bullish on this. Okay, I still think this is even another, and this is coming to Asia now. Wait for London to open. The wheels are going to come off this thing either way now. The longer this goes sideways, the more vacuums or holes or voids or abysses are stacking up above and below. Okay. Looking to fill the limits now. Looks like the dream of it going up is fading, but this is where you got to make these 5 and 8 pips here. It's going to keep padding the account. Around it, you have your swing trades. Maybe not. You don't have to do that. You could just be a pure scalper. I'm not saying you have to, but there's plenty here to trade. In this world, it's not like it was. Another thing is people are doing is 2% risk. Okay, this comes from the days of commodity trading. MT4 Forex trading is a different thing. You can make so much money from the platform and the broker allowing you to trade in a trade at 10K in a 1 pip zone without repeating the price. Okay, here's the crush. All right. And okay, so that we took 5 pips off the table. You see at the very end there, just before the end of the half hour, it went up and then bam. Now, on the half hour, we're buying. And look at this. We just came into that top finally. So everybody's going to say, oh, see, there you go. Huh. So they're bouncing off that round, kind of now. I love this trade. This is the plunge, retrace to the floor, and we get out. I probably got in pretty heavy there. Plus, it was down. I was down 15 pips in a half an hour. Bam. That's going to make me pull the trigger on a wider. Oh, looks like I'm going to crush again, though. So I have to have more tickets here. And if I didn't take at least, this is where taking those 3, 4, or 5 pips off the table is going to make a difference. Still getting filled. Now, this is where you're going to really wish that you did not trade 2%. You came in at 0.001%, ready to go to 20% if need be. So you've got this giant powder keg ready on deck. Can't think of another way to do it that is taking advantage of the psychosis of price, the price action. So people say they trade price action, but there's so much. It's the speed of the action. So when the market's really going down fast, that's a different kind of trade. Plus, okay, I know that we bought with that wide stop because we're down 15, and that was the swing trade. Now, if that's interlaced with the limits that you just made 10 pips, boom, you're out. They just made 10 pips off that round, off of this top, becoming a bottom. It could be a Fibonacci. It could be a Gartley. Look at this walk down. This is more and more drifty accumulation for a possible break of a trend line. It's very quiet. A lot of people aren't trading this half hour time frame, but it's certainly higher probability trades. Your enemy is going to be the spread. Now they're coming into my limits again. Always running these limits. I'm going to buy more 30 pips deep than I'm going to buy 20 pips deep. In the next 2 hours, I'm buying way more 30 pips deep than I'm buying 20 pips deep. And then we have all of those tickets interwoven so that we're taking advantage of the fact that the price is so high res. 10 different prices in a 1 pip window. Plenty of inventory, plenty of level 5 and 9 trading. So another fill. Now we have to, like I said, the big tickets are down here. Now you could have waited 2 days. Now, this is where Empower Trading people are like, well, you know, it's coming back to the 50. They don't use it, at least they don't use a moving average. But it's coming back to our, what do they call it? Their Gartley. We're getting close here. We're starting to get a Gartley going. We're going to buy a lot here, Joe, in this window. And this is the looming vacuum, and this is the meltdown, and this is the crush, and this is the denial of trend. Well, Jimmy Bob and I had this trend trading system. We built this algorithm. It's really supposed to be making money right now because it says it's going up. So that we can get smashed down here into this void. Now this is where people are like, holy shit, now what? No shit. You stand back. You got to have tickets down here. And at the end of the day, can we make it here by the end of the day? You know, the end of the day's coming. God, at this rate, people are going to be projecting like this. So every half hour, we need to have tickets ready for the big trade. Now, this is going to make this trade turn into a completely different situation. We just bought at the market right there. Plus, we're long, don't forget, on a 10 pip bank. Right, if we're always putting in limits to buy on new lows, we're in. Now, how tight are the stops on here? 8 pips? Some are 8, some are 2 pips, some are blown out already. You know, you just lost whatever, $20, $100. The thing is, when we get below here, so the cool thing about Forex that I noticed right away with these charts and the whole thing was I would see the price come back to what I suspect is the top, right? Top here. This is where the whole thing started. And look how it just weasels its way all the way back. And look at this smash down. So I could kind of sense this was coming. Yes, you could have sold you could have sold this whole staircase. Not to say somebody's not scalping against you for a little bit there, but yeah, you sell, you sell, you sell, you sell. Oh, yeah, because you built your algorithm you happen to build was this faster moving average, and you're going to claim that makes money. Of course it does, because the market just happens to be moving at that rate of change to curve fit your the time. Whereas I'm long on limits are on fills here. I've gotten filled, and I'm looking to cash out to here. And I got more down here. And I don't think about, like, this does look horrifying. Like, wow, that thing is just, my God, man. All right, but I'm already going to be out of this trade by here. Counter trend trading. Right, I'm going to get out. Got to get out, because if I got crushed on this, like if I bought too much here, yeah, I'll make the account. We'll get back to, I won't be down that much. So we have to pad the account with those moves. So something in there I know I scalped out. Half hour's over. Are sellers going to come in there? Not me. I'm going to be holding. I'm holding till here. Right? That has to be, for my 20 pip winners and my swing trades, the exit. Absolutely. Has to be. And I could go flat there and call it a day, and I could be up more than most people that are going to be trading, waiting for this Gartley zone to fill. This guy was Empowered Trading guy. I missed my entry by 1 pip. What? Why would you do that? Talk about ridiculous precision. We're going to get out of everything at this floor, sit back, right? Now, we don't have to, but I would typically say a little dump here. This is the monster target. People are going to make down. This is the yen. We could just go like this. stall out and go to the moon. All sorts of scenarios, but one scenario we know is that in 1 hour, in 2 hours, and we're out of this trade, 2 hour trade, we're gone. Bye bye. We just cashed out. We're cashing out all the way. And as soon as we touch this, I know I'm getting out. I know I'm getting out here. Absolutely. Oh, I'm out. Boom. I am so out of this trade, dude. Oh my God, look at that. That's beautiful. Now this is this big long. Now some people are waiting to break that trend line. Oh, they just got triggered. They broke that trend line. Now your big swing trades. Maybe you've been buying everything below here. You're like, holy shit, I've been buying this whole thing. And then when it gets to here, you get out. This is, oh, but sellers are going to come in there for the counter. They already came in. Look at, they sold. It's totally gone complete. Now this is trapped under the floor. Now it seemed like the end of the world here. Look at this one day. And so we still, now these are the highs that have been stacking up. Resistance stacking up here. This was the trap below the low of this day. So I don't know why the guy that does the no nonsense can't figure out that this is one day on the half-hour chart and that this is the low of the day. And if you're going to buy new lows, now look at that, beautiful. Now if you're still holding that trade to target, boom, perfect. Now I put the buy limits in all over again, and we're looking for some kind of 10 pip. Always going to do the 10, 20 pip window scalps. Sure, there are some monster trend trades out here, but, right? Anyways, I got to go back to my Lifetime movie. I'm addicted. The people are good looking, and I must say, the cheesy plots. It's the same production company. In fact, I've seen villains on one episode that are on the other episode. I'm like, wait a minute. This looks like another. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the trend traders coming in at that. Man, everybody got out there. And the trend traders, or supposed trend traders, structured traders, they sold there. I just don't like that trade. This trade here, like this ricochets off of that. Look at that. Oh, half hour clean down. Boom. I just bought at the market. I guarantee you. Okay, I just bought at the market. If only for the scalp. So I'm not buying here thinking that it's going to go to the moon either. But I do like that. And like I said, I got buy limits. Oh, now I got, again, all over again. Buy limits again. So this is just rinse and repeat. The drudgery of trading. That's all. They cash me in. They cash me out. Okay, I'm getting filled. I know it. I also am going to buy at the market. We still haven't reached this window. It's amazing. I don't think we've been down here, so I will just, to do the reveal here, I'm going to turn on the candles just so I know people are going to lose their mind if they don't see a candlestick. But this is definitely going to be interesting to see it with the candles on here. Let me delete the objects because the robot keeps putting in these arrows. Wow, what a high drama market. So here's the candlesticks. Oh, go bar chart first. We'll take it there slowly. So there's only kind of two pieces of data added on here. So now you can't really see the timing of the market here. And it just looks like a breakout trader system here. It's kind of tough. The candlesticks, this just, you can't even see the timing or the structure of the market, when you're on this bar chart. I like this. This shows you just how far and how much momentum You can't see momentum on here. All you see is all the prices. I guess you see momentum here, but now you can see if you hand place these tickets, they're not necessary. You don't really have to, you know. But here, if you're looking at the entries of where you're really going to put in a lot of tickets and why you would, right there, if you could get that price, another pocket is going to be below this wick. You can't really see that on the line chart. This is another reason why you buy a monster load there, and another reason why you would want to cash out or go south is this. When it takes out that wick tip there, that's capture window to do that. Now you're long. Breakout traders, just so you can do the breakout trades. Now you see the breakout traders just got in. If you could switch back and forth, you know, this is what you just got to train yourself to, you know, you can see this, you see this. Like, all right. That's why I have the 1 period moving average on top of the bar chart. It's my hybrid chart. Now this is the good old candlesticks. And you might be like, wow, here's a doji, right? Here's doji, hammers, hammers, hammers. But hammers are happening. So when you see a big down bar, big bearish bar, this big bar down here, down hard, buy at the market. Plus they're filling my limit windows. Okay, breaking out of Asia, coming down. I'm going to buy again. And there's going to be a bounce, a low pip target in there. And there's going to be a, maybe, you have to find out. This is the thing. If you're trying to make 30 pips, if that's your scalp window, sure, 40, 50 pips, maybe on a big run day. But when the markets are kind of like this, you know, hey, okay, I know that I'm buying below that wick. I'm going to buy more below that wick right there. See how I got filled. But I'm also buying because it's down heavy. Bought the market, buy, and this is the low the previous day. If no nonsense is watching, this is, I know it's hard to believe. It's just too simple. This here, son, is the low of the previous day. That would be the day before for those of you in the prop houses. So this, yeah, will you just buy down here? I don't know why it's so hard. I guess because people, they shit their pants. They see this thing going down. Oh, fuck. And would you sell up here? Sure. But there's got to be a scalp to here. You got to make those 10, 20, 30 pips. Now, I'm long from below here, and I just bought because it was down. I think it could go lower. I'm allowing for that. It could go lower. But definitely going to be buying a lot. If we ever make it below there, oh my God. I'm loaded for bear, and I'm going to consider this to be the current floor that we got trapped under. We pop to here. Sellers will be over here like crazy up in here, right? It's how far can it make it? The only exciting thing about trading is that when it's down like this, I just think that's money in the bank. Like it's down, I'm buying. Now, you may say, well, you bought here. All right. If I didn't scalp something out of that, yeah. But I got the limits in there. Down. I'll say if this is down, would I buy this one? If this is down, I'm like, oh, I don't think so. Because this is about to be breached. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to just blindly buy. Now, this one I would buy, and this one I would buy, and this would make me this much. But no, it's not going to make that. That's okay. Now, I'm not going to buy this at the market. I will if it's down underneath this floor. If it closes below there, I'm definitely buying. But I've already got buy limits down there. So now you could have had buy limits in this little vacuum window. If this spread is 1.5 pips right now, and you're trying to make 3 to 30 pips, that whole spectrum, or 3 to 50 pips, a 50 pip run in the market is going to have to be either a slow 50 pips all day long, or it happened 50 pips, the news came out, and in 1 hour it moved 50 pips, which can happen if there was news coming up. But most of the trading is going to be, okay, I just got filled on my limit down here. I guarantee you, because I always buy new lows. And I'm going, at the end of the half hour, when I'm up, I'm going to get out. Didn't close below there. Didn't have to. I don't have those kind of strict rules. You know what? If you got a pulse on the necrophilia, this you just cannot be that picky. I'm sorry. Oh, I have to have a mask, and oh, this is the bottom became a top. A little bit down here. I'm definitely buying that. I could be still holding, and I should be still holding something here. I think definitely going to rip this out. I'm going to cash out above this. Come in, put buy limits in all over again. This is as fast as this can play back. I'm kind of surprised. I want it to go faster now, but the playback. If this closes below this wick, I would buy more. So it's how much I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy more if it closes, if the criteria stacks up. But I've already got limits down here. Let's see what happens. If they don't fill my limits, then I have to buy at the market because it's down. This is where I'm saying this is going to be a shoulder. This is the head. We're never going to see that. I got to buy that. I'm like, oh yeah, buy that. So look at, they just took out the low of that. Look at that shaved candle. They just took out the low of that. Amazing. So let's just do candle by candle here. Damn it. Okay. Maybe this, now you can see the spread. So that was a completely different view. Okay, this is a little bit better. You can see it pumping. Okay, so we got filled on the ask. Don't forget, we cannot buy that price, but we did get our fill, and we cashed out of something. It was down, so we bought the market. I'm not going to put a buy stop up here and buy the ask. So if the spread tightens up, should it tighten up, which it doesn't here on the playback, but if the spread goes to 0, then I can make those pips, right? I can make these pips. That might be 30 bucks, you know. Okay. On my big, if I was on the 1 hour chart, I would pull the trigger less, right? So we're cashing out now. We know there's sellers out here. We got to get out above here. We're out. Come back, put in buy limits now. So this is just how it is, you know. Now on the swing tickets, wow. That big triangle, we're still at the apex of that big triangle. In the bigger picture, we're looking for this to go up for the next few days now. Look at it, they're going to come up and touch Asia. We got to cash out there on something. At the end of the half hour, we're gonna be out. We're gonna sell. Now this we might sell for a scalp to here. But in the big picture, man, you know. So most people did cash out there. Notice the very slight, not a lot of money to be made there. Now this vacuum above, this is the next tippy top. You're still short something here though. It's a little bit of disturbing not to immediately make money on all your tickets. If we could take out this low, be cashing out. Okay, we just cashed out. So for those of you that put the sell limits in here, in 1/2 hour, without waiting the half hour close, you cashed out. Right? And the buy limit guys that want to go long, then they just scalp. Somebody just scalped something there. Look at that. So when you're in front of those kind of vacuums, sure, the scalpers made this, but look out, right? Because we could go ripping up, or you're still holding, and I'm going to put my buy limit. So what the guy was doing, I was watching this guy trade the NFP. He had put a sell stop here and a buy stop here. I'm like, yeah, did you have a target on that? Because otherwise they're just going to trap you on both legs. Now, if you sold here and you're still holding, more profits. So having more than one target. And I'm still waiting for the end of the half hour where I can buy this at the market. So all this scrolling around here, I'm sure on the 1 minute chart looks amazing. I just bought at the market. Plus, I just got filled on my buy limits, right? So I'm always running this buy limit campaign, or I'm going to. This could just fizzle. This could all be done with. We could still go lower. But this is nice, big half hour down. We buy. We're looking to take this. We're going to take that trade. Right, that's a setup. Pull back. Didn't come back to a perfect. This double top does not get touched, right? It seems it close, right? Anyways, that's how that rolls. All right, back to the movies.